The CEE Center for Young Black Professionals.
We are a registered charity
committed to cultivating a talent pool of young Black professionals
that positively impacts
the Canadian labor market.
As a young Black entrepreneur, we don't believe the Black youth should be excluded from the new Canadian work economy.
Well, as we continue to talk about the global movement to end systemic anti-Black racism, it's also important to recognize the economic and social barriers that many young Black people face when it comes to financial prosperity and quality of life. The CEE Center for Young Black Professionals has been working towards changing that, and Executive Director Agapi Gessesse joins us now to tell us more. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's start off by first, before we get into the programs, because I mean, right now, especially during the pandemic with youth unemployment, I mean, the programs have never been needed more. But before we talk about the work, how did the CEE Center even begin? How did it come to be?
Well, most native Torontonians will remember the dreaded Summer of the Gun in 2006, and that was what sparked a real need for youth initiatives in the city of Toronto. So United Way, as well as the province, came together to create the Youth Challenge Fund. There are 154 initiatives that were started across the country, or across the city, sorry, and CEE Center for Young Black Professionals was one of them. The founders, Dr. Kofi Hope, as well as Shireen Ashman, really went into community and decided to really fix the problem as to why young people were not engaged in programming and gaining employment. And that's really where CEE Center for Young Black Professionals was born.
So tell me a little bit now about what CEE Center actually does in terms of the programs they offer.
So we work with young people furthest from the labor market, and we've identified 5 major labor gaps that data and evidence tells us in the next 10 to 15 years, if people don't fill in these roles, that these industries are going to be in trouble, with the exception of one, but I'll talk about that. So we do programming in information technology, trades, social services, hospitality, and the last one is entertainment. In 10 to 15 years, people are probably not, there's not going to be a labor gap of people not wanting to get into the entertainment industry, but we acknowledge that the entertainment industry has a large gap in diversity, and we want to be able to prepare our young people to take advantage of the opportunities that might be coming ahead.
Off the top there, we were listening to a clip hearing from people who have benefited from some of the programs. So in terms of a response and impact, what have you actually seen with young Black people who have been taking advantage of the programs?
Well, we take 3 approaches. One is a culturally appropriate approach. The third is a trauma-informed approach, acknowledging that all Black people really are dealing with levels of trauma, especially young people. And the third is a person-centered. Everyone is different. We need to take a 360 of their life and work on life stabilization. This approach has garnered us a 92% retention rate. That means 92% of the young people who come through our doors end up finishing our programs and in employment.
Wow, I mean, that's fantastic.